We're digging for answers into the gun crisis here in Chicago. Police blame some of the violence on illegal guns brought in from other states, and they're starting to crack down on it. As our Charlie DeMar reports, victims of gun violence say it's about time.
There have been more than 2,300 shootings in Chicago so far this year. Michelle Chambers' 28-year-old son was one of the victims.
So tired of this. I really am. I am. The guns, it's killing me to stop.
5 guns found at the scene were traced back to this Kentucky Army base. Prosecutors say 3 Fort Campbell soldiers bought the guns legally, but were charged with selling them illegally in Chicago. They're called straw purchases, an illegal practice in which a purchaser is actually buying the gun on behalf of someone else, and they fuel violence across the country. Last month, 9 people were charged in an illegal gun pipeline that stretched from New York to Atlanta. In Minneapolis, investigators say 3 people bought nearly 50 guns in an elaborate straw purchasing scheme. And in California, a licensed gun store owner was arrested for using the names of police officers to sell guns off the books. Last month, prosecutors say a gun from a straw purchase was used to kill 29-year-old Ella French, the first female Chicago police officer murdered in the line of duty in more than 3 decades. John Lausch is the U.S. attorney here.
It's a legal product, a firearm. When they end up illegally in someone else's hands, that's where we come in as law enforcement.
Earlier this summer, Attorney General Merrick Garland announced the Justice Department was creating strike forces in 5 cities to target gun trafficking. Kristen Detinio runs the Chicago ATF office.
It is a major cornerstone of our trafficking strategy to identify those straw purchasers.
Crime data analyst Jeff Asher studies why gun crime is spiking and where the weapons are coming from. But he says it's hard to get a clear picture because of a federal law that prevents gun trace data from being released to the public.
You're relying on anecdote rather than on actual data, and I think that makes it very difficult to solve it.
Lausch says in the end, it's the people who pull the trigger who are most responsible.
Our offenders, they're completely emboldened. They're not afraid of getting caught. They're not afraid of the consequences once they get caught.
Crackdowns on gun crimes aren't new. They date back to at least the Reagan administration. But with the body count soaring, the hope here is this time there will be a real impact. Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News.